Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are still going to be working on this deck. Last week we took down all of the railing and repaired or replaced boards, and we started kind of brainstorming ways that we would fill in these cracks. I think I have a plan for that in today's video, so make sure that you stay tuned. But anyway, we have lots to do today. If you didn't see last week's video, go check it out so you'll be caught up. But let's go ahead and get started on today's video. I want to start with this board right here. I'm not going to extend it all the way over here because I have other plans for that. I'm going to do some skirting right here, so I want the board to stop right there. So we need to cut it and attach that with some screws. Okay, yesterday I started going through and filling in the holes on the railing and a little bit on the deck, but what I decided is I have got to get all of this stuff out of my yard and back on here. So I'm gonna forget about the railing and the skirting just for a minute and concentrate on this area and get it all ready so we can paint it. I'm not gonna lie, this has probably been my least favorite project of the house so far, just because it's been tedious. But what I'm doing is, instead of sanding it, I'm going through with this wire brush like this, and I'm just kind of brushing the whole deck because the paint is not going to adhere to any old paint that is peeling at all. There's no point in going on top of it with something else. So I'm just trying to get that up, and luckily it's not all the boards, but I'll show you how I'm doing it. Okay, so that didn't make it smooth, but at least I know that all of these pieces are on there pretty good, and they're not going to be peeling up with the new paint coming on top of it. One of the last things I want to do before we start painting is I'm filling in some of the cracks. Now the paint I got, which I'll talk about in a little bit, is supposed to fill in cracks, but I want to kind of just fill in maybe some of the bigger ones that are a little bit more noticeable like that. Fill in those bigger ones so I don't have to do as many coats of paint. I feel like the thing that you guys see me do the most on my channel is caulk. I go through quite a bit of it, but I'm using my favorite caulk here, which is the Alex Fast Dry, because I am super impatient and you can paint over this in 20 minutes. So I will link that down below. Okay, it's finally time to start painting. I want to show you the color that I'm going with, but I also want to talk about the product that I'm using because I've never used it before, so I'm really curious and I want to tell you why I'm using it. The color that I'm using is actually not that different than what's already there. I tried out this board right here. It's just a warmer brown color that I think is going to look nice for the whole deck. And also I'm hoping I'll only have to do one coat since it's so similar to the ones that have already been painted or stained. So this is the product that I'm using. It's called Super Deck Dock Solid Coating. You can get this at Sherwin Williams, but it's like a really thick paint. And the idea is that it's supposed to fill in all of the splits and cracks and things of older weathered wood. So that's kind of what we're going for. I know that it's not going to look perfect like new wood, so we're going to try this out and see if this helps. Also, I'm using this, it's 3/4 of an inch nap for, 3/4 of an inch nap for the roller because it's super squishy and it holds a lot of product. And so I'm hoping to put this on really thick. I have never worked with a product like this before, so I was pretty excited to try out something new. The first thing I did was mix it up really well. You can see before where it was a bunch of different colors that needed to be mixed together, and the consistency is strange. It is so thick, so it took a little bit of practice to get it exactly how I wanted it. But I'm following the lines of the deck boards, and then I'm kind of going from different directions to make sure that I get it deep down into those cracks. And I'm not applying a lot of pressure at all because I want to lay down thick coats because I'm hoping again to get away with one coat. So yeah, I'm just going one way and then getting more paint and then going back the other way, trying to really get the product down into the cracks. I was so impressed by the coverage of this paint. Like, let's just take a look at this upper deck versus this lower deck right here. It looks so uniform. I was really impressed with that because whether I was going over old boards or new boards or old boards with caulk in them, they all turned out looking the exact same. The coverage is amazing. There was a 1% chance of rain today. 1%. So it stopped raining. It looks like it just rained a tiny little bit. I can see it sitting on the surface. So we're gonna see how this does with rain getting on it almost right away. Worst case scenario, we'll wait till it dries, add another coat. Okay, here's where we are on the deck. The coverage on this stuff is amazing. Like, you can't tell, like, this is a new deck board and it looks the same as the other ones that were already painted. Now, as far as filling the cracks, I can tell it filled them in some. I'm debating on a second coat. I might do a second coat just on the bigger cracks that I need to fill, because it's not going to look perfect. It's an older deck. I also forgot to mention that this product is supposed to have cooling technology, that it's supposed to be like 20 degrees cooler in the sun, because before we couldn't walk on our deck barefoot in the summer. We still may not be able to, because of the heat, I mean, but we still may not be able to. I'll tell you later if that works at all. That was just an added bonus. It wasn't super important to me. I just wanted it to look better. Look at this little guy. They are always in our backyard. We see them all the time, and they are totally not scared of us.
This was definitely one of the most tedious parts of this project, was painting these railings, all of the individual spindles. It would have been easier to spray had I been using regular exterior paint, but I really think that this product is far too thick to go into a paint sprayer. Anyway, it's definitely really fun to see these big changes, like going over that paint just now. And you can see that as it goes on, it's looking more like, I don't know, more not orange, but a little bit more warmer toned. And as it dries down to a nice, pretty brown finish. So yeah, it was just interesting to see the difference between how the color changed as it dried.
Okay, this is how it's looking. This stuff dries really fast. I'm able to walk on it. I think it looks pretty good. I still have to do like a lot of brush work, but I used the big roller and the small roller to do a lot of it, and it went pretty fast. So I'm gonna let this dry overnight, and we're gonna check out these cracks in the morning to see how well they're filled and if we need to add another coat. Okay, the next morning, the deck is completely dry. I want to check out how it did filling the cracks. Okay, like I said, the coverage on this stuff is amazing. I can still see cracks, so I'm debating whether or not to do a second coat. While I think about it, I'm gonna go ahead and use the paintbrush. I painted all of these with the roller, but I'm gonna use the paintbrush to fill in the little places I couldn't get to with the roller on the railing. Okay, we'll do a quick test to help us decide. We'll just put a second coat on this spot right here with a bunch of cracks still and see if it's worth it to do a second coat on all of it. Let that dry while we do the railing, and then come back and check it out and see if it's how much it sinks down into these cracks. Okay, the first coat is done. I think I made a decision on the second coat. Instead of going over the entire deck, which it doesn't need, I think I'm just going to take what's left over in my little pan and go over the spots, the cracks that kind of stick out to me, and do a second coat on those. Because honestly, I don't think it needs it, and I don't feel like doing a second coat, so that's the plan. It's over. We did it. The deck is painted. Oh, except for the skirting. I'm not gonna think about that right now. That's it for today's video. I was hoping to be able to get this deck done in 2 videos, but there's still just so much to do, so much to show you guys. We still have to decorate and do the skirting all around and a few other things in the backyard. But that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.